All right, guys, how you doing today? We're here to talk about economic systems today. This is a very important topic for you to know for CRCT and life in general. Um, an economic system. An economic system determines how a country uses its limited productive resources and how that's going to be allocated within its society. A couple of things that we need to know as far as productive resources. Productive resources are things like human resources, how much skill, how much human resource is available for that country. A capital resource is more like a tool, um, such as even in a business, you would think of a capital resource as being the truck or the equipment, and a human resource as being the education and the training. And natural resources, of course, you should know what that is: the minerals, the crops that they can grow, what's available in that country to help them have as much resources as possible. And then finally, you got to have those risk takers. Who's willing to risk their resources that they have? And that's called an entrepreneur or entrepreneurship. Who's willing to risk their resources? And so entrepreneurs are very important in economics. So that's what an economic system is. There are actually three types of economic systems. There's a traditional economic system, command economic system, and market economic system. And we'll look at each of those three. But before we look at that, we need to look here. There are three major questions that every society, excuse me, that every society must answer. What's going to be produced? Who will produce it? And for whom will it be produced? These are the basic economic questions. And you'll hear that term, basic economic questions, a lot. So make sure you know those. What will be produced? Who will produce it? And for whom will it be produced? Every country needs to answer those questions. Well, the next thing we've got to look at is, with these three economic systems, the real question becomes, how much government involvement is there in that form of in that country? If there's little to none or total control. So government involvement is the key factor used to determine which of the economic systems plays out. The first type of economic system is a traditional. Really not much traditional economies left, but this would have been an old-fashioned type of economic system based on customs or traditions. Most of the time it would have been agricultural based. It would have been a system of trading. I have some chickens, you have some corn. I need some corn to feed my chickens. You need some chickens for food or for eggs. And so we would have traded without actually exchanging money. So a system of bartering. I guess today, if we're exchanging or we're bartering something without exchanging money, we can say that we have a little bit of traditional economy sprinkled in. But for the most part, we think of these as an old-fashioned agricultural-based economic system. Also, you would probably tend to have the same job as your parents did. That job or that skill would have been passed on generation to generation in a traditional economy. The next type is a market economy. In a market economy, there's private ownership. People have the say. People and businesses can own stuff. So that would be a market economy. In a market economy, the people or businesses determine the answers to the basic economic questions. So if you want something, the people will make it for you. The businesses will make it for you. If it doesn't sell, if it doesn't become a success, then it will go out of business eventually because there's no one there to make the product, because the market determines if it's a good product or not, and that means the people determine it. The last one is a blank board here. The last one is a command economy. In a command economy, there's no private ownership. Government owns it all, or government owns it. Government determines the answers to the basic economic questions. The government's making that decision. Very few choices usually in this. There's not as many products. There's not as much innovation or need to make a product better, because there's no motivation. I always like to say that in this case, it'd be sort of like your mom. If you got $100, your mom telling you exactly where that money's going, you don't have any say in where that money's going, that would be a command. They're commanding you to do something. And so if you think about it, the government is answering all the basic economic questions: what to produce, for whom to produce it, and how to produce it. So anyway, in a command economy, there's no private ownership. Government answers and makes all the decisions. Now it's your turn. I know I've gone over a lot here, so you may very well need to go back and rewatch the video or pause it. And there's more things that we need to look at for economic systems, but for the basic, those three economic systems is what you need to know. What I would like for you to do is what I thought the video said. What did you think I taught? What did you think the video was about? Write me a paragraph. Expectations is about 6 sentences. Explain government involvement in each of these types of economic systems. Again, thanks for watching. Good luck.